Hello and welcome to Treasurefacts. My name's Jeff, and today we're going to talk primarily on coils and not necessarily the detector itself. Even though I have an MXT All Pro, a V3i, and an MX5 sitting here in front of me, we're going to talk about this. It's the 13-inch Ultimate Detech Coil. It's made exclusively for White's Electronics, and you can't get this anywhere else but from White's Electronics. It's going to retail for $179.95. You can also put this on the VX3, the MXT, the MXT All Pro, the M6, the V3i, and the MX5. In comparison, my V3i came with this 10-inch coil. I'll show you the size difference. It's only 2 ounces heavier, so you're not talking a lot of weight. It's balanced nice, and what I want to do is put it on this MX5. You might ask, well, why would you put it on the mid-range detector and not the MXT or the V3i? I believe I could and go ahead and find stuff, but these are already deep seekers, and this is a highly competitive machine considering it's a mid-range detector. I believe for the weight and for the cost, anyone wanting to start out metal detecting, this is an economical bargain. And you put that 13-inch coil on there and you get a little depth out of it, you'll be able to hunt side by side with the MXT and the V3i. So let's go ahead and put that coil on. We're going to go ahead and see how it pinpoints, how deep it'll go. Okay, so now what we have is two MX5s. One has the 9-inch Spider Coil, and the other has the new 13-inch Detech Coil. So let's go ahead and give it a try, shall we? Okay, we're going to go ahead and set down the 9-inch Spider Coil MX5, and we're going to go with the Ultimate Double D 13-inch Detech Coil. I'm going to pinpoint. Okay, since this is calling it a 25-cent piece, I'd be curious to see what it is. So I have it pinpointed to the end of my coil. Let's go ahead and dig it and see what it is. Okay, we're using the MX5 with a 13-inch Ultimate Detect Coil, and we have what I believe is a quarter in the hole. We're going to go ahead and dig this plug. The first thing you want to do in a nice yard like this is to dig a good plug, and I want to show off my shovel a little bit. This is one that I built, and I built quite a few already. I'd like to distribute these eventually down the road. You can also watch my YouTube video, Treasurefacts builds a presentation trowel shovel. So let's go ahead and get to digging this up. Let me check. Okay, it's still in the hole. It's right here on the edge of the hole. There it is. You see that? It's a silver quarter that I had planted. There's numerous coins throughout the yard, and to the right of me here there's a gas line that runs through, and you might have heard me beep on that a little earlier. And anyways, this is a good detection. Thanks. We'll see how deep this was. Yeah, about 6.5 inches to that quarter. I know that's not real deep, but usually the coins are found in the 4 to 6 inch range, and I think to find a quarter at 6 inches is pretty good. I wanted to show you the pinpointing capabilities on this, so it actually does quite well. We were able to zero in on this. We found out how deep it was, and it actually was exactly what it said it was. I think I'm going to go ahead and show you an air test on all 3 coils, the 9-inch Spider Coil, the 10-inch Double D, and the ultimate 13-inch Detech Coil. These are all MX5s. The volume set at 30, the threshold set at 15. The sensitivity is all set at the 6 bar, and I went ahead and nulled all iron out right up to 0, and they're all set the same. And what I plan to do is go ahead and run coinage in front of the coil for each one of these, and we'll see how deep each one detects it, and we'll be able to see how well this 13-inch Detech Coil responds. I have the help of my son Benjamin. He came out and was kind enough to help. He's going to go ahead and work each detector. He's going to power up and power down as we go along, because the coils are going to fight with each other and it's going to make a lot of noise, so I have to run one detector at a time. They're all set the same, and I got some coins here we're going to use. These are the coins. I'm going to use a silver piece dollar, a silver half Walker, a Washington quarter that's silver. I'm going to use a regular nickel, modern, not silver. I'm going to use a silver dime. I'm going to use an Indian head penny. And then I'm going to throw this in, which is the officer's infantry button I found a couple years ago. Like I said, we're going to do an air test on each one of these coils. The 9-inch, the 10-inch, and the 13-inch ultimate Detech coil. That's new from White's Electronics. We're going to go ahead and do the air test, but in essence we're going to be doing the air test on the coil, even though the detector's included. The capabilities are there with the detector, but the relay goes through the coil, so we'll be able to see the depth difference with each one of these. And when you go out in the field and you're using this, you want depth, so we're going to show you what kind of depth you can get. So go ahead and power up. First we're going to start with the silver dollar. Okay, it's showing 8.5 inches. Now we're going to use the silver half. About 8 inches. Now we're going to use the silver quarter. About 7 inches. Silver dime. About 6 1/4, 6 inches. We're going to use a non-silver nickel. That comes in at about 6 1/2 also. The Indian head penny. About 5.5 inches. And then we're going to use my officer's infantry button. I would say 7.5 to 8 inches in depth. Now we're going to go ahead and try this one. Go ahead and power off this one. We'll start up this one. Once again, the silver dollar. about 9.5 inches. The silver half, about 8.5. Silver quarter, about 7.5 inches. Regular non-silver nickel, about 8.5 inches. The dime, which I should have done first instead of the nickel, about 6.5 inches. Indian head penny, about 7.5 inches. Officer's infantry button, about 8 inches. Go ahead and power this off and fire up the last MX5 with the 13-inch Detech coil. They're all set the same. We're going to use the silver dollar once again. About 10.5 inches. Silver half. You can kind of tell it's there. To get a confirmed beep though, is at 9 inches. Silver quarter. Eight and a half. Silver dime. About 8 inches. Non-silver nickel. 9 inches. Indian head penny. Nine inches. You can tell out here already, you can hear the difference in the tones. It's kind of wanting to catch this thing. I would assume in soil conditions that are where the coin's been sitting there a while, you're going to be able to detect this a lot easier. And last but not least, the infantry's officer's button. At about 10 inches. So that concludes the air test. You got more depth out of the smaller items. I noticed at the top, let's just say you find a quarter. It actually picks up on surface as well as in depth in the ground. So pinpointing is actually quite easy on a surface area. Right there would be your center, just at the base of the shaft. So this is looking good as a good pinpointer. You got depth in it. I think when you go to an area that you think's hunted out, this is going to be a new ground catcher for you. And I think it's going to be a good tool, and I'm excited about using it. I want to thank you for watching my review on the Ultimate Detech Coil made exclusively for White's Electronics. In my opinion, this 13-inch coil is a keeper. It is sensitive, it does go deep, and pinpointing is a breeze. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to do an air test on the coil. My name's Jeff, and today we're going to talk about the 13-inch Detector. Today we're going to talk about the 13-inch Detech Coil.